All right. This is where somebody needs to file a class action lawsuit against Google. Starting today, scripted or simulated violence in video games will be treated the same as violence in other scripted content like movies and TV. This means future gaming uploads with scripted or simulated violence may get it approved instead of age restricted. Okay, well, that doesn't actually then sound wrong. Like, this is hard to understand here. Is this what they mean when they were talking about changes to the video game stuff? Okay. So it's things like Gore and Path of Exile and stuff like that might get more advertisers. So it just means it has fewer restrictions. Geez, you had me going there the way the way they word things, eh? Like that first sentence just has you like going, ah! And then you read it and you go, oh, okay. Not so bad. And this is a good thing. I mean, they have no choice really because there's going to be a lot more adult content on YouTube versus not. And what they're trying to do is adjust the advertisers and everybody to that fact. I mean, you can't advertise targeting at kids. Doesn't mean you can't have a kids channel. What it means though is that instead of having targeted ads, you'd have general ads for kids. That's an explanation that needs to also be said. And if you're a family, okay, you should have other income than YouTube, okay? I'm just going to say that, all right? Where's the husband or the wife that works, or both, that looks after these children, right? Or your whatever content you're doing, okay? And that's par for the course, I think, in that aspect. As for video games, I'm going to I'm gonna I've been told, I've been scanned by YouTube, and that that there is also extra alternatives for us non-Americans where if there becomes an issue where an FTC guy comes and looks at my channel and says this video's bad, I can say, all right, I'll apply for the content ID system and block it in your country. And that's it. And pretty much YouTube is telling me that's the course of action for most people outside the USA. And, otherwise, I say get over there and sign the petition that change.org has, and whatever. Um, there's a COPA for adults coming, which means all the targeted ads there's going to be another ad apocalypse. In other words, it's coming, okay? Because targeted ads at you, me, and everybody else is going to get nuked, okay? Because they're trying to do what they did for the kids for adults, even though I don't care if you want to target ads on me. You want to put a tracking cookie down there and follow me around and see what I'm up to. I don't go very far. In fact, what I actually do, and this is a little hint for you, I use another browser when I go browsing the internet rather than Chrome. I use Chrome specifically only for Google and YouTube. Okay? Aha, eh? Hard to track me figuring out what I'm up to when I'm not even using your browser to browse with. And that's what adults will do, right? So I don't care if they have data and whatever else. And I think most people are in the same boat. Where it gets invasive is like if anything is attached to my actual name or a thing like that it gets hacked and that data gets leaked out. It's all about security. It's not as much privacy when it comes to the adults. It then becomes about security. And from what I'm, from what I'm seeing from this YouTube team, Other than this is the only piece of good news we've had all year, I would say. Okay? Um, ay, 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 ay. And the good thing is that my channel is now growing. I'm putting some effort in. I'm getting some newer games for content, and I put on hold getting the new graphics card, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what's going to happen with these Trump tariffs. Okay, and if prices go up too much, that's it. That's it. You know, I'm just not going there until these two sides quit throwing sand at each other in the sandbox and get to business. Then psh, no sale. Anyway, I thought I'd put this up because what this means is that guys like me that are doing games that are rated M or I think out of all the playlists I have, I only have it was that was concerning me possibly about Copa was 6 games that were rated for teens. However, I looked at those games and I thought, well, there's enough adult themes in these things that I'm not worried. And there's only one video I may even take down because it was a stupid 10-second joke. It was that flying space pickle banana thing. It's kind of stupid. But that's part of the. This is the whole thing. I want to also say to everybody, when you're having fun, we win. Okay? When you have fun, you win. Okay? Doesn't matter about all these other people and all the other problems and the issues. This is what it is. This is why we come to gaming, okay, and entertainment, to have fun, to enjoy ourselves. Whether you're watching a horror movie and you get scared, right? That's part of the fun of it, okay? Seeing if they can trick you into being scared, or if it's fantasy, if they can immerse you in a strange new world, right? Or sci-fi, for that matter, the same thing, right? It's all about the immersion, right? And in games, Anyway, so I thought I'd put this up. I want to make sure I'm reading this right. So this means future gaming uploads with scripted or simulated violence. Simulated violence? Like the game is pretending to be violent inside the game? No, the game is violent. They should take the word simulated out because violence, right? What is simulated violence in a video game? Does that mean that there's a video game inside the video game with violence? So it's simulating the violence in the video game? Come on. Get your lawyers to start thinking human, will you? Just, okay. Wait a minute. After video games with violent content will not get age except for cases where it's the primary focus, like top 10 most brutal deaths in game. Oh, so like you do okay, so we may age restrict fictional violence if it's particularly like see then this whole thing is bad. So they're age restricting video games. Censorship. Eh. Like we're all adults here. Why do you have to censor anything? I want to see some graphical games. For all the BS in the world, you want to go right into a video game and just slice and dice, Get the stress out of you, right? And then you can be a calm little human and go, I don't know, watch cake videos. I don't know. It's just, what the hell? Human corpses. How many video games have corpses in them? I don't know. Jeez. This is like 90% of video games. Oh. Yep. By YouTube. Yep. They're gonna wreck all the gaming. You see, because here's the kicker: if you play a cartoony game like Fortnite or Overwatch, you could run afoul of the FTC. Okay, because it's cartoony, and yet if you play a game as an adult that isn't cartoony, looks realistic, and has people getting shot with blood coming out of them, then you're you're not going to make any money. You're being age restricted. Yeah, I think it's time I move to Twitch and whatever else. Oh boy. You still crying? Bing. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do about all that. Um, I had a look down in there, and there's a section uh, that, okay, it's kind of like this COPA thing, okay, how they're leaving so little wiggle room for you to kind of navigate. And what they're going to do is, okay, we're going to not age restrict violent video games anymore. But anything with simulated violence where somebody could have arms or legs or some kind of, violence, and it's subjective up to them the way they word it vaguely, right? And so it's now like, okay, so what video game can I play that isn't cartoony, that's unrealistic, and won't run me into a cartoony situation where I'm getting whacked by the FTC. You see, like, who the hell is running this shit? I don't see Twitch having these problems. Or D Live. Man, am I glad I'm not monetized. They can go through all these blahs. It is. It's crazy. Let's see here. And I'll show you the little bit here where they're talking about. Come on. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Where was it? It was fair ways down. Like, once people realize, okay, what YouTube's really up to here, eh? Like, one thing to add, we may still age restrict fictional violence if it's particularly graphic. Hate to need examples, but this might include fictional videos of people being dismembered, decapitated, or human corpses with severe injuries. So no more getting shot, no more sword play, no more, like 90% of the most popular video games. No more Path of Exile on here. No more Diablo 3, Diablo 2, all these games that show some little bits of graphic, but, we know they're video games because we're all adults here, right? Okay? You're supposed when you sign up to YouTube, you're supposed to be 18. Okay? If you're under 18, you got to have parental consent, and I don't think you should be looking at video games that are too old for you. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. And then, the problem here is that when I have a video, you don't need to log in to see the video. So you could be any age. This is the problem, not the other way around. Okay? If you're going to make me responsible for content, okay, number one, I got to go into restricted mode. Number two, I've got to enter the content ID system and block all traffic to the United States to ensure that I don't run afoul of FTC laws. Okay? Or any other stupid American laws that you got planned or going on there. Like some COPA thing coming up in the future there for adults. That will be the ad apocalypse, guys, that you're all kind of getting really worried about. Okay? Because when YouTube is basically forced to do the same thing for adults as kids, you won't be able to upload videos unless you're in a restricted style mode. Okay? This is why YouTube's frantically trying to find new ways for us creators to make them some extra money on stickers and stupid things like this, and they're trying to say that certain video games were age restricted before. I once again, YouTube, you've made things more confusing and hard. So it's just given more of us more of and my channel's growing. I had when this Copa thing started, I had about 310 views. So I've gathered an extra 40 people since this thing kind of broke its wind, and that's why I posted that Yoda cake there. Now that I wonder what they think of that. Here's a nice cake some guy made, and it looks realistically like a baby Yoda, and he takes a knife and cuts a slice out. you know, that's interesting. Anyway, I'll let this up and improved instead of we think so, but you can be the judge. The update means that scripted simulated violence in gaming content will have fewer restrictions, while we're maintaining the high bar to protect the community from real world violence. How that? I have to comment here. Hold on a minute. Where'd that go? Where's that silly Team YouTube thing? Where'd it go? Oh, notifications. Why am I not being notified when there are... There it is. No, that's not what I clicked on. Whoa. There. Where was that first? There. Okay. I had to reply to that because they're being silly about it. Anyway, I'll let this go up here. You know, it they tried to on the surface make it sound good, so maybe one or two or a small class of video games gets age restricted from this. Anything that's too realistic that could simulate a real world dismemberment or blood, guts, anything like that. So basically anything rated M. I mean they're squeezing the hell out of this creatorship here, okay? To the point where I can't wait until January 1st when the FTC comes in and just starts whacking them all, and YouTube starts losing so much money when the rest of us just say, nah, gone, bye. You know, because when we start seeing some examples of what they're gonna whack, that's when it gets real, right? And they do have some targets lined up. Let me tell you, I know they do. I've been quite in the face of this team YouTube. You know, like I let them have it when they started giving us these cartoony stickers to put on our videos, right? Well, no, not gonna do it. And if you do it, you run the risk of getting the FTC going, huh? And look what YouTube's doing, trying to attract kids to the front of the videos. So that both of yous will probably end up in trouble. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just going the wrong way, everybody. I think you need, 30 hours at Twitch to become an affiliate so I can just do videos like I am now. So I'll do a bunch of lives, right? And I'm not going to have my face on there. I'll put like something, you know, just point it at a wall and put a picture on the wall or something. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know what to think about this. Or I'll have to keep an eye on it and see what they say to the couple of replies that I left. Because first of all, there is no evidence that violence in video games actually translates to real world violence. So by doing any censorship on video gaming, especially when you say that simulated violence of certain acts or whatever, okay, to protect what? Adults? Last I checked, everyone here should be 18. Okay, if you're trying to protect children, YouTube, okay, they shouldn't be here. They should be here with their parents' consent. If I wanted to make a video showing people getting chopped to little pieces, I'm free to do so. And if my audience wants to watch that, woohoo! Good for them. Little kids shouldn't be watching that. Okay? And parents shouldn't be letting them. Okay? That's not my problem. Or whatever. And if it comes down to this, somebody's got to get a lawyer and put a finger into YouTube's eyeballs here and say, open your eyes. Reality is not what you're making it. Oh, this is just stupid. Another angle on these things is it seems to me like YouTube really wants to keep kids in the loop of all this. Okay? And I don't know, guys. I mean, kids shouldn't be here. If you're a parent, they shouldn't be here. They should be, you know, and the YouTube Kids thing should be totally separate from us. There shouldn't be a way that a kid on going into YouTube Kids should be able to see any of the videos here. Okay? And then, you know, the problem with all this, guys, is that we're getting to a time when the technology is so realistic that any form of violence will be simulated violence then. So I'm in a video game and somebody walks in and bumps into somebody and then they shove them. And that's part of the script of the thing. That's simulated violence. Why? Censorship, man. It's just censorship. Okay? See the difference, and the another difference between adults and kids, 100% of adults, most of the time, unless they have a mental disorder or some kind of disability in that aspect, know that videos, video games, and entertainment is fictional. So, read this line. But this might include fictional videos of people being dismembered or decapitated or human corpses with / these severe injuries. Now, think about the most popular video games. That's like all of them. I've never had YouTube age restrict any of my video games, but there is some violence in all that stuff, right? So, what? How's that work? You know? I mean, the second you're age restricted, your channel's screwed. Okay? That's just all there is to it. I mean, what's the sense? I mean, what I should be doing then is getting a website, selling merch to people in every video, and annoying the hell out of them every 5 seconds to go to Subscribestar and Patreon to give me a buck, because I'm never going to get monetized the way this bullshit's going. Like, for real. Like, and the more I talk like this, the more people subscribe to me. It's like insane. I don't understand it. You know, it's like coming to the realization that everybody's the same, and there's just not that many people standing up and saying it, right? I stood up to Twitter, got my Twitter account back. I threatened a lawsuit on those buggers, okay, for what they did to me there. And it's actually kind of ironic that I tried to help Cecil having a bad day there. Posted a Blender image to him. And then suddenly I get banned almost instantly. Take that how you want, guys. Certainly sounds to me like Cecil took that the wrong way when I said don't let them bug you. Right? You know, at that point I'd been hanging around in his chat a bit, joking around with him, other people, you know, so it's not like people shouldn't have known who I was, especially that incident with Mike Miller getting his email hacked and then the same person trying to hack me. That was funny. Track that person right down to their cell phone in another country. Jeez. You know, the one thing I'll say to you guys is, okay, of all the people you want to pick on to hack, do yourselves a favor. Don't mess with someone who even claims to have been a hacker. Okay? Because if anything they said was true, you could be in for a world of problems. Okay? In many aspects. If they went the illegal route, they could countermeasure you and destroy you. Okay? I'm pretty confident. I have some ways I could brick some people's computers or tablets or phones or whatever. Okay? Should I ever want to do that? But that's illegal. The legal routes then to just start getting into the jurisdictional law of the certain nation that the person's into, contacting those authorities and then handing over the proper information and then having you messed with in your own country. And in some of these other countries, man, they don't knock on the door lightly and say, "Excuse me, can we have a talk?" because most of the time you're probably doing that to a few people. Then they got a nice case where they can go in, and you probably got some nice things in there they can seize and sell at an auction to make a buck off you after they've thrown you in prison for a while. Anyway, getting off topic. I kind of rant on there. I'll see how this plays out. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys later in the day and find out what YouTube responded to me. They did respond to me about the COPA thing too, and I just missed it there the one day, and then I got back to I made a video about the content ID system there, and what I might do is do a video on how applying for that actually works. I'll go through the entire process, okay, and show people, because it's a good thing, because in a way I should do it anyhow, because some of the stuff I have is actually unique content. I have a lot. All the 3D stuff I have there, even though some of the meshes are either CC by 0 or something like that, where I can use them, and I will in time put some attributions to various people that made those meshes. Once I render it into a scene in a movie or something, that's unique content. Okay? So it's not something that I'm borrowing off like this, this Twitter feed or, stuff like that, or web pages, or, making a meme out of something or whatever. I should put it in there so that if somebody, goes and does something really retarded with something of mine and I get some flack for it, I can use the content ID system to say, ta-ta. Right? It is, I understand why there's a little bit of that, but by and large, I wouldn't be claiming on people to have some fun with stuff I do. In fact, once I do that, it would be easier for me to allow people to do that if I wanted to, right? If somebody borrowed a video and made a meme out of it, then I can, I would get notified, which is cool, because then I can see what people are up to with some of my stuff, right? That's kind of a neat way of looking at it versus not. But yeah, this is one of those things where they put the wording out and it can go really bad later on. It'll start off where they'll just let everybody do whatever they want until some parents with 11-year-olds start complaining about it, right? Well, you're not supposed to be on YouTube. You understand? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Just weird. Anyway, I'm going to let this go and upload it, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, take care, everybody.